This video is sponsored by OWC. So Bloomberg's Mark Gurman has recently reported that Apple is in fact planning to hold a spring event. It's going to be early, and he even gave us the date of March 8th of when Apple is planning to hold this virtual event. Now, Apple is planning to announce a few things at this event, like a new iPhone SE and iPad Air models, which will both feature an A15 chip and 5G support. So let's start with what we can expect out of the 2022 iPhone SE. As we have heard several times before, the new iPhone SE will look pretty much just like the 2020 version, which is basically remodeled after the iPhone 8, but it will feature a faster A-series chip, likely the A15, and 5G technology. And it's important to note that the A15 is the chip that's found in the iPhone 13, so it is going to be up to date in terms of processor. It'll feature a 4.7-inch LCD display with thick bezels and that Touch ID home button, making it Apple's most modern iPhone that still offers Touch ID. All other iPhones have already transitioned to Face ID, and there are rumors that future versions of the low-cost iPhone will in fact do so as well, but not this time. The back of the device will be made of glass to facilitate wireless charging, but it won't include MagSafe technology. Like the older models, the new iPhone SE will feature an IP67 water and dust resistance rating, and we're also not expecting any real changes to battery life given the lack of design updates. So battery life, or most likely the battery size, will more or less be the same. When the 2020 iPhone SE was released, it included the same A13 chip that had been used in the iPhone 11 models that prior September. So again, we can see the same situation in 2022, where the iPhone SE will be adopting the new A15 chip. The iPhone SE is expected to feature an updated camera, and it could adopt the latest wide-angle camera from the iPhone 13. Now, we don't know the specifics at this time, but camera improvements are planned. The current iPhone SE features a 7-megapixel front-facing camera and a single-lens 12-megapixel camera. The 2020 iPhone SE is also expected to be priced at $399, or at least that's the starting price, which is the same asking price as the current 2020 model. Now, switching gears and going to the iPad Air, the iPad Air will also feature an updated A-series chip and 5G connectivity, but again, just like the SE, it's not expected to feature any major new design changes. The new iPad Air will have the same overall design as the current model, including a single lens camera on the back. Now, the current iPad Air was released back in October of 2020, and it features a 10.9-inch display with slim bezels and a Touch ID power button, but that's on the top, and a USB-C port with color options including space gray, silver, green, rose gold, and sky blue. And so we can probably expect to see this new iPad Air be pretty similar in almost all of those aspects to the 2020 model, but again, should feature an updated chip as well as an updated 12-megapixel ultra-wide front-facing camera with center stage support, that 5G connectivity, and quad LED True Tone flash. Gurman has said Apple also plans to launch at least one new Mac this spring, but it's unclear if that Mac would be introduced at Apple's event. Now, Apple has at least 4 new Macs powered by M2 chips in its pipeline, including refreshed models of the MacBook Air, entry-level 13-inch MacBook Pros, 24-inch iMac, and an entry-level Mac Mini. It's likely these Macs will launch later in the year after Apple finishes releasing its final Macs with M1 Pro and M1 Max chips. Of course, I'd love to know your thoughts on everything in the comments down below. The event is pretty much 1 month out at this point. Do you believe that the event will have more than just a spec bump iPhone SE and iPad Air? Hopefully so. I think a new Mac Mini and iMac would make a lot of sense in my opinion, in order to give what would seem like a pretty underwhelming event a bigger splash. But of course, I'd love to know your thoughts down in those comments. Now, before we end today's video, I do want to give you more information about today's sponsor, OWC. OWC just released a new drive earlier this year called the Envoy Pro FX, and it's the company's fastest, most compatible, waterproof, ultra rugged drive to date. It's basically plug and play on all devices, Mac, Windows, Chromebook, or Surface devices, and even works with your iPad Pro. You'll get blazing fast speeds via Thunderbolt, and did I mention that it's incredibly durable? I mean, not only is it waterproof, but its aluminum housing makes it very resistant to any potential damage to the drive, but more importantly, it's incredibly portable and really just the perfect all-around option for audio, video, photography, whatever the case may be. The Envoy Pro FX will have you covered. Now, for more information about this product or anything else that OWC has to offer, click the link in the description down below. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.